Welcome back to Generative AI 101, the podcast where we explore the intricate world of AI and generative AI, turning it into something you can actually enjoy. I'm Emily Laird, your navigator through this digital labyrinth. Today, we're continuing our focus on prompt engineering with few shot prompting. Imagine teaching an AI to solve puzzles by showing it just a few key examples. Intrigued yet? You should be. Strap in, folks, because we're about to make prompt engineering as thrilling as a Hollywood blockbuster. Welcome to Generative AI 101. All right, let's get into it, exploring the fascinating realm of few-shot prompting. Think of it like this. Instead of giving your large language model a single clue or expecting it to figure everything out on its own, you provide it with a small set of carefully selected clues. This method, known as few-shot prompting, empowers your LLM with just enough guidance to solve the puzzle, but leaves room for some creative problem solving. Now, when I mention LLM, I'm talking about large language models. So that's whatever flavor of large language model you're choosing. ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, Mistral, Gemini, Llama, Poe, whatever it might be, you got options. So few shot prompting is like giving your large language model a brief crash course before it tackles the task. You supply it with a handful of examples, just a few shots, and these examples help the LLM figure out how to approach and solve the task at hand. It's a bit like showing a novice detective a few solved cases so they can get the hang of sleuthing. Few-shot prompting shines in its ability to strike a balance between providing guidance and allowing flexibility. Unlike zero-shot prompting, where the LLM is left to its own devices, or one-shot prompting, where a single example is given, few-shot prompting offers a handful of examples to set the stage. This method helps the LLM understand the context and structure of the task, leading to more accurate and reliable outcomes. So let's break this down with some tangible examples. Let's look first at language translation. Suppose you want your LLM to translate English phrases into French. Instead of just giving it hello is bonjour, which we talked about in our one-shot prompting episode, and hoping it extrapolates, you provide a few examples, right? So hello equals bonjour, goodbye equals au revoir, and please equals s'il vous plaît. With these few examples, and mind you, my French pronunciation needs work, but what am I going to do? With these few examples, your LLM gets this broader understanding of common phrases and can now accurately translate similar phrases in the future, right? You've just trained it to be a mini language translator. Let's next talk about sentiment analysis. So let's say you want your large language model to determine the sentiment of customer reviews. You've got a big customer review database. You want it to review it and tag everything as negative or positive. This is training that I've done in corporate spaces, right? Where we're looking at these massive amounts of customer review data, and we want to understand and leverage those between positive, neutral, negative, whatever the style of tagging might be. You could provide examples like the service was terrible equals negative, the staff was friendly equals positive, the food was amazing equals positive. So with these few examples, the LLM can learn to identify positive and negative sentiments in new reviews, improving its ability to understand and categorize sentiments in various contexts, allowing you to gain a better handle on the reviews coming in about your business, organization, or your customer service area. What about email categorization? So imagine you're training an AI to sort emails into categories like urgent, important, and casual. You might give it examples such as meeting scheduled to tomorrow. That's urgent. Quarterly report due next week. That's important. Lunch plans for Friday. You guessed it. That's urgent. That's casual. It's casual. I'm just joking. Love good lunch plans on a Friday. So these examples help the LLM categorize emails more accurately, making it a useful tool for managing communication. Lastly, we'll look at grammar correction. So we oftentimes are using tools like Grammarly for our grammar correction. We have spell correction right in Microsoft 365 products. But let's say you wanted to use your LLM for grammar correction. So you'd consider using few shot prompting to correct grammatical errors. You're going to first provide a few examples like she go to the store equals she goes to the store. They is happy. Nope, that's they are happy. I has a dog. No way, I have a dog. These examples help train the LLM to better understand and correct similar grammatical mistakes in other sentences. So now you've kind of primed it to be its little grammar gremlin that's going to help you look so put together and professional in your writing. So let's talk a little bit about some pros and cons of few shot prompting. So few shot prompting for sure has its perks. I am a huge purveyor of this, as I'm sure you've garnered from our previous episodes, right? I am all about giving large language models examples. That is so key. It's more reliable than zero shot prompting, where the LLM gets no examples and can handle more complex tasks than one shot prompting, where you're giving it a single example. This method of few shot prompting is efficient, providing just enough data without really overwhelming the system. It's like giving your LLM a treasure map with a few key landmarks marked, right? But few shot prompting isn't perfect. Nothing is. It can still stumble with very complex tasks that require deep understanding or extensive training data. Sometimes the longer your prompt gets or the longer the example gets, the details really get lost in the fray. And remember, we talked previously, the devil is in the details, okay? So it's like expecting a short course in forensics to turn someone into Sherlock Holmes. It's a good start, but there's still a long way to go. The quality of the examples is crucial. Poor examples can lead to poor performance, garbage in, garbage out. Ugh, don't make me keep saying that. And there's always the risk of overfitting if the LLM relies too heavily on the few examples provided. It's got its quirks, it's got its pros and cons, but I'm a huge fan of few shot prompting. Please give it a try with your favorite LLM and see what you think. That's all for today's deep dive exploration into few shot prompting. If you've got questions, thoughts, or just want to connect, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just look up Emily Laird, Laird, and let's keep the conversation going. You can also book me to speak on all things AI, including prompt engineering. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, you know more about few shot prompting now than you did when you arrived.